Hey, this is Derek with PIK Koi. I am here to talk to you today about liner. I get a lot of questions about this, and I figured it's time to show a video so you guys can see what the differences actually look like when I'm holding it, when I'm utilizing it as it would be done in a pond installation. So starting from this side over here, we've got our traditional EPDM. Tried and true, been around in the industry for a long time. Folks know how to work with it, probably know more about it than the other types of liners. So we're really going to focus on the differences between the EPDM and the various different types of RPE liners that we have. RPE liners are a reinforced polyethylene laminated sort of liner, and they come in different weights and thicknesses. For most folks, if you're building a pond, you're honestly not going to need anything over into this thickness. Just because it's stronger doesn't mean it's going to be better for your purposes. So starting over here with the 20 mil, you can see that with this sort of RPE liner, you can fold it very, very easily in each direction. But one key difference between this and an EPDM liner is that you can actually put a crease in it. It's not going to affect the strength as long as you don't fold it back and forth repeatedly like you're trying to break a piece of aluminum. But you can, which is helpful if you need to put folds and pleats in it, get it to lay down flat in certain installations, if you're going to do a box pond or something like that. Your EPDM liner over here, you can see this is actually only 3 by 5 feet. All of these are 10 by 10 feet to give you an idea of the thickness and how big the folds are going to end up being. One other key difference is RPE liners are going to be stronger. This is significantly thinner than your EPDM liners, but EPDM is pretty easy to puncture. Same goes over here. Got through, but had to work a lot harder. You get over into something like the 30 mil Ultra here. Again, I had to stab pretty hard to be able to get through it, and I only ended up with a tiny little puncture. It doesn't want to continue to run. With the EPDM, one of the issues that you can run into is if you get a little puncture here, they'll just start to run and go. You get the pressure of the water pushing on it, especially if you've got a void back behind it in your pond where you didn't backfill completely. If you get a puncture in that area, it's just going to want to spread and spread and spread. So we've got the 20 mil, 24, 30, the 30 mil Ultra. For most folks in a standard size backyard pond, around the 24 to 30 is probably going to be fine. My personal recommendation is always going to be the 30 mil Ultra. The reason being is it has an additional layer of UV protection on it, which is going to extend the warranty by another 5 years above this. And additionally, the additional layer that's on it, you can see this side is a little bit shinier, a little bit smoother than the other. And this layer of UV protection, because it is made of a different type of material, it also, if you do end up making these bends and creases in it, it's not affected. So it adds another layer of water impermeability to it, even if you do end up manhandling it quite a bit. We do offer the 40 and the 60 mil. Unless you have a use case where your pond is relatively shallow, relatively flat, it's probably not going to serve you well to use it. Unless you have an area where you're going to have moose that are going to be running through your pond, you're probably not going to need it. So let's work backwards from here. 20 mil has a 5-year exposed UV warranty, 24, 10-year, 30, 15, the 30 mil Ultra has a 20, the 40 and the 60 also carry a 20-year UV warranty. I wanted to show what it looks like when you're trying to conform a piece of liner to some interior or exterior curves. One of the benefits of the RPE liners here is that you can actually put folds and pleats in it. And the creasing might seem like a detriment at first, but ultimately the ability to get it to lay flat and stay flat can be hugely beneficial in the long-term aesthetics of the pond. So if you're working with a piece of EPDM, you need to get it into an interior curve. EPDM wants to get back to its original shape. It's never going to get creased, but the problem that you run into is you'll end up with these folds that will never sit exactly how you want them to be. And you'll end up with these bulky chunks in the pond. You know, ultimately, you're gonna be looking at the fish, you're gonna be looking at the plants. It's probably not gonna be that big of a deal to anyone except for you, because you know, because you made it. Whereas if you're working with something like, we'll go with the 30 mil Ultra here, it'll lay flat, but if you need to get through an interior curve, you can then put a fold or a pleat in it, where it will end up laying considerably flatter in the end. Also really good, again, for anything where you're gonna have a formal pond, a box pond, where you're gonna have hard 90-degree edges or anything like that. So I hope that this helps to explain a little bit more about the differences between these liners. In terms of seaming or putting them together, we'll show that in a different video here, but it's really, really easy. We've got repair tape, seaming tape to put multiple different patches together, and that should be what you need to know. If you need anything else, give us a shout.